my name is Heather with Sonoma Fit, and I will be doing a low impact strength class for us today. So crank up your music at home. Let's have a little bit of fun. So we're gonna start first with a little warm up, and we're just gonna start with a little step tap and roll that shoulder. Start to focus in on our breathing a little bit here. 4 more, let's go 1, 2, 3. Now we're gonna flex that heel forward, little flex. Just flex that heel. Let those arms swing forward. And then we're gonna take those arms and we're gonna cross them right in front of you. Cross that midline. Just starting to bring that heart rate up, wake up that body. All right, little march in place, here we go. Pump those arms. Keep that chest up high. You can let those knees come up a little bit higher or keep it down here. All right, we're gonna go back to that little step tap and we'll roll that shoulder. This time we're gonna go a little bit bigger and start to open up. Lift up through that chest, big reach, up. If that doesn't work for your shoulder, keep it nice and low, and 4, and 3, and 2, then that flex of the heel forward, flex. Let those arms swing. And then we've got that cross in front, so we're gonna cross the midline. Starting to get a little bit bigger here. If that doesn't work for you with your range of motion, a little bit smaller, just keep the cross in front. We've got 4 and 3. Now we're gonna add a little kick to the glute. So we're gonna kick that heel to the glute. Hands can either stay on the hips, or we can reach and pull those elbows back. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now lift the knee. I'm gonna take the hand and tap that opposite thigh. Keep that chest lifted. And we've got 4 and 3 and 2. Now march in place again, little march. Breathe in, exhale out. All right, let's take a big reach overhead with those arms and lift and exhale. And again, breathe in and exhale 2 more times. Breathe in through that nose, lift that chest high, and exhale 1 more time. Breathe in and exhale. All right, I'm gonna take those feet out wide. I'm gonna start to get that heart rate up a little bit more. Now if that doesn't work for me, I can just march here, otherwise faster. And let's take those arms right out in front. And pull back, and in front, and pull back. Feeling that heart rate coming up. Pull back, and 4 more. 1, a little faster. 2, 3, 1 more, and 4. All right, nice and easy, march it in. Woo, got that heart rate up a little bit more. All right, now we're gonna take a little step tap and step tap. Option 1, we can stay with this. We can progress into a little bit bigger. If we wanna add 1 more layer, we're gonna add a little balance here. And if you're feeling frisky, you can add a little bit more here, side to side. Otherwise, keep it right here. Most of us are gonna wanna stay with this one or that tap. And we got 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Let's open up those feet. Feeling that heart rate coming up a bit, and we're gonna start to do some hip hinges into squats. So I'm gonna drive my hips back, keep that back nice and long. As I'm doing this, I wanna imagine someone's pulling on my belt loop at the back of my pants, keeping the back of the leg nice and long. This is like a straight leg deadlift here. Drive those hips back. So anytime today that we do squats and they do not work for you, a hip hinge is always a good option. So I'm gonna start to take this into a squat, driving my weight back into my heels. And let's go down and up. Make sure you can lift the toes at the bottom of that squat. And let's keep that breathing. 2 more. Remember, we can always go back to that hip hinge if that feels better for you. And up. All right, now I'm gonna do a little tap. Here's option 1. I can just stay with this. I'm gonna slow it down and tap. I'm gonna progress this to a small lunge. I don't have to go very deep with that lunge. I can start to drop that knee lower to the ground. If this bothers your knees, make sure you just stay with the tap. And then in a little bit, we'll progress that to some balance work. And let's take it back. And again, we can drop into that lunge. Let's do 2 more. And last one. All right, now we're gonna take some taps to the side. So we're gonna tap out and in, and out and in. Now I can stay with this tap. I'm gonna start to put the weight on that foot, stepping out really into a little squat, and then I can take this into a lunge. If that does not work for my knees, I'm gonna stay with the tap or a little step out into a squat. And I can start to go bigger with this and really think about driving your hips back. Let's do 2 more, and side, last one. And now we're gonna take it forward. So I'm gonna go forward. I'm just putting the weight down like I'm gonna march forward, and I change my mind and I pull right back in. So I'm really engaging through that core, forward and back in. The next option would be to start to take this into a lunge. So I'm dropping that knee toward the ground. If that doesn't work for me, go back to the step. Still getting great benefit here for the core. Let's do 4 and 3. We've got 2 more, 2, last one, and 1, and rest. All right, we're gonna move into some weight work here. So if you do not have weights at home, you can use cans. So play around with the ones in your cupboard. Make sure you find 2 that are the same so that you're using both the same weight here. So we're gonna just start making sure that our toes are forward, about hip width apart. Keep that chest lifted. Our body's nice and warm now and ready to work. So we're gonna start off with some bicep curls. Palms are facing in, they curl up to the top. And again, let's exhale at the top and inhale at the bottom, and again, curl. Now this is gonna be a little bit easier than this next move. So if I'm not up for that, I'll stick with that one. Now I'm gonna turn the palms up. And remember that the more resistance that I add, the more challenging this is gonna be. So if I feel like the weights that I have at home, the cans that I have are not gonna be heavy enough, I wanna make sure that I'm adding more resistance both directions and making that weight feel a little bit heavier. 1 more. And now we're gonna hinge forward. So that hip hinge we did in the beginning, we're driving those hips back, and I'm gonna go ahead and drive my elbows back. So now I'm working into the back. So first I was starting with the biceps, and now I'm doing some double back rows. If that doesn't work for you to do both at the same time, you can alternate these. Just keep that back nice and long. Your hips are driving back. Let's do 2 more. Exhale. And lift that chest. Come back up. All right, we're gonna go back to that bicep curl. So we can do the palms facing in again. And then we're gonna hinge forward and do 2 back rows. Hinge forward, drive those elbows back. And again, come on up. We have the option too to take the palms up. Let's do that again. Curl in, and then we'll hinge forward. Keep that back nice and long. Drive those elbows back. All right, we're here in this position. We're gonna take this into a reverse fly. Now, if this does not work for me, I'm gonna stay with that row and drive my elbows back, but I wanna squeeze my shoulder blades at the top, take it out. I could also do this without the weights. So I could choose to put the weights down and not use them here. Let's do 2 more. Squeeze at the top. I'm looking out in front, not like straight down with my neck. Keep that chest up and roll those shoulders back. Let's get a little bit of movement back in that body. Just rolling that shoulder from side to side. That's it. We've got 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Let's open the feet a little bit wider this time. Toes are out, and I'm gonna shift, soften the knees, shift my hips back. Take those palms facing in, squeeze at the top, and squeeze. Let's do 2 more reverse flies, 2, last one, and 1, and then lift the chest up. Bring those weights here to the shoulders. I'm gonna press up. Shoulder issues, you can try alternating these instead, or we can just hold it at the shoulders, and I'm gonna add a little squat here. So I'm gonna drop back and press up, right? And I can just do the squat and not do the shoulders if that works better for me. Remember, I also have the option to alternate these instead. 1 more. And let's hinge forward. So hinge forward, let the weights hang down. We've got that reverse fly. 4 and 3 and 2, last one, and 1. We're gonna lift the chest, bring the weights to the shoulders, and squat and press. Now, if you want to add a little bit more to this, you could combine these movements, make it a little bit more cardio, and press straight up. Otherwise, we stay with separate squat and press. And again, 1 more. Heart rate should be back up again a little bit, and bring it back in towards you. Woo! All right, bring those toes facing forward again. So about hip width apart, and we're gonna go slow here. Up, right row. Now, if you find that your wrists start to bend here, just limit the range of motion. Coming up and back down. And again, up and down. 2 more, and 1 more. All right, we're gonna work this into some balance work. All of this could be done without the weight. So if I have shoulder injuries, I might choose to do all of this without the weights. If my balance is a little bit off, I'm not gonna lift the foot off. I'm just gonna stay with that tap and that front raise for the shoulder. If I can, I'm gonna start to add some balance here by brushing and lifting that leg off the floor. So I've got that good balance here at the back. I'm not hinging forward. I wanna keep my chest up, even if it means I'm not going too far behind me with that leg. And we've got 4, and 3, 2 more, 2, last one, and 1, and rest. All right, little step tap. We're gonna set those weights down. I'm gonna hang on to one of my weights. Now, I could, if you have a little ball that you can hold, or you have like a grapefruit, or something like that, you can use that instead if the weight feels too heavy. Otherwise, just use one of your cans or something that feels comfortable to hold in your hands here. We're gonna work the core with some standing core work. And we're gonna just start to bring that weight side to side or hip to hip, keeping your hips facing forward. And then we're gonna step out in front and take a figure 8. I want you to exhale into this. Now this can be a little smaller, but I can also bring that heart rate up by making the movement bigger. So just pay attention to how you're feeling, what you're up for here. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now I'm gonna plant my feet, rotate without moving my lower body, without moving my hips. And I'm gonna start to turn. Notice that my knee and my hip are coming with me. Now if you're on carpet and you're having a hard time getting that foot to come with you, you're having a hard time pivoting it, make sure you lift the foot off or just take it back to this first move here with the rotation without the turn. Now if I can, I'm gonna lengthen those arms out, making that lever longer, a little more challenging. 4, and 3, and 2, one more, and 1. Let's bring it center. Now we're gonna go down and up. This is a ground and press. And 4, and 3. You got 2 more. 2, last one. Let's bring it into the chest. All right, now we're gonna rotate to the side. So again, if you are on carpet and you are having trouble with the rotations here, make sure you're picking your foot up and turning your knee and your hips with you. I'm gonna drive down and up. So I'm getting that big chop down and lift up out of that oblique. So coming all the way down from that oblique. 1 more here. All right, let's bring it back into the chest. And then we'll do the other side. So I'm gonna come down and up. And if that doesn't work for my shoulders to do a big reach here, you can shorten this here and just bring it shoulder to hip. And again, take it down and up. 1 more time, and down and up, and let's bring it in. All right, we're gonna go back to both weights again. So we're gonna move into some tricep work. I don't have the time. I lost it, so I won't.
Oh,
sorry.
You're good. You're at 13 minutes.
Okay, so just maybe if you can tell me when we have 10 minutes and then 5, so I wanna make sure I go to the floor. Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to screw that up. Okay.
I'll let you know when this is.
Hinging forward. So I'm gonna keep my back nice and long, just like I did with those back rows. I'm gonna bring those elbows in, and I'm gonna alternate. 1 arm at a time, making sure that that head doesn't dip forward. I'm looking out in front, keeping that back nice and long, and then I'm gonna go to doubles here. So just a little kick back. Let's do 2 more, 1 more, and lift that chest up. Lift it up. All right, let's bring those arms to our sides, and we're gonna take it out to the side. Now again, shoulder injuries, I might choose to do this without the weights. And let's do both if we can. Take it out, 2, and down. And 1 more time. Take it out, and bring it in. Let's go back to the triceps. So this way we're able to keep moving without completely fatiguing one muscle group. So I'm going back and forth between my triceps, and remember I can also do this with doubles here if I'm up for it. I'm going back and forth right now between my triceps on the back of the arm and my shoulders. And then I come back up, keep that chest up, and I can either do those singles. Make sure that those feet are planted, that we're not tipping into one side. You wanna be nice and stable here. Brace that core, lift up tall, shoulders stay down. And 1 more time, take it out and bring it in. Let's do this 1 more time. So we're gonna hinge forward again, keep that back nice and long, elbows in, and I can either alternate these kickbacks or do both. Paying attention to that spine, keep that back nice and long. Woo. And 1 more, and then I'm gonna lift that chest up and move into the shoulders, either singles Or I can do my doubles and take it out. Let's do 2 more of these. And last 2, 1 more. And bring it down. All right, we're gonna bring that heart rate back up a bit. So let's set those weights down, shake out those hands, and let's go ahead and just take a little tap. We're ready to bring that heart rate back up a bit. Woo. All right, we're gonna lift those knees up. Lift, lift, lift. Option 1, I keep the knee a little lower. Option 2, a little bit bigger. Now I'm gonna start to push. If I'm up for it, I'm gonna go big, pull. I don't have to, this doesn't have to be a jump. I can make a lot out of this movement without having to jump. Still low impact, but my heart rate's going up. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Easy recovery march. Woo, just march it out. Easy, easy. Catch your breath. Try to get yourself to the point on those that you feel that heart rate come up and you start to gasp a little bit for that breath so that this is that recovery. We're gonna do that one more time. So I'm gonna build it the same way, but you can go right to those bigger ones if you're up for it. Over here, and otherwise, here, pull, big. Exhale as you drive that knee. 4 more, 1, 2, 3, and recovery march, easy. Woo-wee. Breathe. All right, open those feet up. Make sure you're not too wide with your feet. You want those toes facing forward. We're gonna go back to the squats. This time we're gonna pulse. 1, 2, 3, and up. Remember, if the squats don't work for me, I wanna make sure 3, 2, 1. I wanna make sure that I do the hip hinge instead. So my option here is 3, 2, 1, and up instead of 3, 2, 1, and up. All right, roll those shoulders back. Take a deep breath in. Exhale down. All right, we're gonna take it down to the floor. So give yourself some time here. If you're not ready to come down to the floor, just take your time. You can grab a towel. If you have a mat at home, grab a mat. I'm gonna grab a mat quickly here. And we're gonna take it down and just do a couple things here on the floor. So I'm gonna start on all fours. Hands are right underneath my shoulders. I'm gonna bring my legs together, and I'm out my back nice and long. I'm not dipping my head. Let me turn this way a little bit. And we're going to extend the leg back and come in. And all I'm gonna do is alternate back first. Then I'm gonna progress this and add a lift of that leg. If I'm feeling okay with this and I'm feeling stable, my hips are not rocking here, I'm gonna start to add the opposite arm. So if I'm lifting the left leg back, I'm gonna lift my right arm. Opposite leg to arm, and I wanna feel that core engage as I come out into that bird dog position. And let's do 4 more here. 1, and 2, and 3, you've got 1 more, and 4, and rest. All right, we have worked our shoulders, our back, our biceps and our triceps, but we haven't really done a lot for our chest. So we're gonna combine some push-ups and planks, and I'm gonna show you a modified or a good option for that. So I'm gonna be on my knees, and I can stay right here with all fours and shift my weight forward here. I can also hinge a little bit forward and come down into that push-up and press up. Then I'm gonna sit back and get that stretch. Come forward, make sure the hands stay right underneath the shoulders, elbows stay in, and extend back. And let's do that again, come forward. So we're not just getting the chest on the push-ups, we're also getting really our whole upper body. We're engaging through our core, we're feeling those triceps working extra hard, keeping those elbows in as tight as you can. Make sure you're not flaring those arms out. Right into your side, 1 more, and come back. All right, let's go ahead and roll it over and finish here on our back. I'm gonna go ahead and bring my feet right underneath me, and I'm gonna do a few hip bridges. You could certainly use your weights here if you wanted to use those weights. Otherwise, I'm gonna push the hands to the floor here. And I'm gonna make sure those feet are lined up right underneath my knees, and I'm gonna squeeze my glutes to the top, and then lower the hips to the floor. Make sure you're not arching your back to come up. You wanna be squeezing your glutes, engaging your glutes. You wanna feel the hamstrings engage here. We can lift the toes up a little bit and come down. And let's do that again. Driving those hips up and bring it back down. And let's exhale to the top and inhale as we come down. 2 more, squeeze to the glutes and lower it down, and again, lift and lower down, and let's bring those knees in, and just relax, feel that back press into the ground, nice and easy. And let's put that left foot down to the ground, lengthen that right leg up. Now, if you have trouble reaching for your calf here, just move your hand to the back of the thigh on that hamstring. If you have a towel, you can put a towel around your foot and use that to help pull the toe towards you. And we're just gonna breathe into the stretch. Just exhale into that stretch as you bring that leg towards you. And release. We'll do that one more time. Bringing it towards you, holding that stretch. If the leg's quivering, it's too much, so just back off a little bit. You wanna get right to that spot where you're feeling the stretch, but it's not painful. And release, and let's do the other side. Bring that leg up, and we're gonna bring that leg towards you. If you're forcing to get this leg, move the hand down to that hamstring instead, and we can do the stretch from here, or again, we have that towel. Take a deep breath in as you exhale. Bring that leg towards you, and release, and bring it towards you, and release. All right, we're gonna bring those legs down, and then we'll drop both knees to one side. I'm gonna open up the arms and drop that shoulder down toward the ground. Now, I may not get as far with my knees if I'm tighter in my hips, but I wanna open up here and try to drop that shoulder down. If that doesn't work for you, a good option here would be to just bring the arm to the side and work on the rotation in the spine. Otherwise, we're gonna open up. And I wanna be very careful of my back as I come back to center here, so I might wanna bring this arm in first and then bring the knees up. Let's drop the knees to the other side, open up, and let that shoulder now drop to the other side. And I can look away from my knees to really exaggerate that rotation. Again, if that doesn't work for me here, I might pull this arm in and stay on my side. Just breathing into that stretch. And let's bring your body over to the side that your knees are on, and just gently take your time as you move yourself onto your knees. And we'll come back to this position here, and I'm gonna walk my hands out, open my knees up a little bit, and come on back, and just drop into that extended child's pose, dropping the chest toward the ground, lengthening out through those arms. And let's walk those hands in. Now, if I don't want to do a downward dog and stretch my calves that way, another option would be to just drive my heel back here. If you're okay coming into a down dog, we're going to lift the hips up and drive the heels toward the ground, really lengthening through that spine. If you're doing the one leg, make sure to switch to the other here. And then I'm going to soften my knees and just gently walk my hands back in toward my feet. Take the hands to the thighs, and we'll roll up nice and slow here. Your shoulders and your head are gonna come up last. If you have some time in the end here, you could spend some time just on the floor and do some breathing on the floor, but we're gonna come on up here. If you're up with me, take a deep breath in, lift that chest up, and exhale down. And have a fantastic day. Thanks for joining me. This is Heather. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Sonoma Fit and share the video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.